Welcome back to another episode of the Slow Run Cast. I'm your host, Muhammad Ali, aka the Iraqi Balboa, and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who deadlifts to soft music, Derwin Luke, or as I
That
prefer
was a
to call
bench,
him.
actually.
It was a bench, yeah, sorry.
But today I'll be deadlifting to soft music.
The Derwinator, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a bench. I haven't worked out in so long. I forgot what they call things. I'm like, what was he doing? Was he deadlifting?
What do you mean? You carry your kids around? That's a workout now.
Yeah, you have like asymmetric muscle like growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only have the one kid in one arm, so it's like super jacked, and then the other one gets nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, those car seats are heavy, bro. Kids are heavy, bro. They'd be pretty shocked as to how heavy they actually are. And especially when you're trying to carry them when they're a mess, because you want to go wash them up or something, and you're holding them from a distance here, so you're not holding them against your body.
Yeah, and they're squirming because they don't want to be picked up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Child problems, man.
Child problems. That's the way she goes.
Yeah, and then soon they'll be throwing your Switch against the ground.
They already started. But I don't care. You know why I don't care? Dawood could throw the Switch against the wall because we are on the eve before the eve of the Nintendo Switch 2. Well, not reveal because we had a reveal in January, but the big reveal that we've been waiting for. April 2nd. What is it? 8 a.m.? Or no, it's 7 a.m. Mountain time. 7 a.m. Mountain time. So 8 Pacific. If you're listening to us on the West Coast, I doubt it. I think everyone listening to us is on Mountain time. But yes. Are you excited, man? It is finally here. We're going to find out. My kid could break the Switch because the Switch 2 is coming, baby.
I think I'll be excited once I see the pre-order page come up. It's like the scramble to
which apparently came up on Best Buy and then they took it down.
Yeah.
Best Buy Canada put a pre-order page up.
No, wasn't that just a blog?
No, I thought they actually put I saw on Lebabins, he said they were putting it up. They put it up and then they took it down.
When I clicked it, I thought I saw just the blog saying that it was going to be up after the event, like April 2nd. And then they shortly took it off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good point that you mentioned that. April 2nd. I could be wrong, to be honest with you. I never actually clicked on the link. But yeah, that's what Best Buy was saying. There is news from some US retailers that have there's some leaked documents that say it is going to be
April 9th, I think,
April
right?
9th or April 8th. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, so according to documents from the US retailer, pre-orders are set to go live on April 9th, 1 week after the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of two conflicting little things going on here.
Yeah. They must have them somewhere in like a warehouse already, like in the States.
Dude, I bet you they had these things for a while. These things have been ready for a while. That's why they keep leaking. I just think Nintendo's been holding on to them, waiting for a more favorable time to release and to get some more juice out of the Switch.
Yeah. And they probably have enough, hopefully, to like circumvent all the tariff stuff.
Hopefully. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully. I mean, did the tariffs start on Japan? I don't know.
I think that was like another April 2nd announcement. So maybe.
How many times have they delayed the tariffs on Canada now? Is this the second time?
Well, they keep going back and forth. Like they added the car tariffs or something like that.
Freaking orange, man. I cannot believe last summer, in summer of 2024, for a moment there, I was like, you know what? Maybe Trump will be better for the world. Just because of how incompetent the Biden administration was, I had a thought for 2 seconds. I'm like, yo, bro, I think Trump should win. These people they're garbage, right? And then Trump won, and I'm like, what was I? What? I mean, it's not like I voted for him.
Yeah.
But and it's not like I was posting anything in support of him, but mentally in my head, I supported him for like 2 months, and then he came into power. I'm like, what am I thinking? Oh my God.
You heard it here
Trump.
first. Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
No, Iraqi Balboa is a Trump supporter.
Trump supporter. God damn it, man. And then all those freaking Elon Musk. Well, Elon Musk is the real de facto president of the United States currently.
Oh man. And did you hear about all the news about a third term?
Well, exactly. Well, he got into power, then he's talking about tariffing all his allies. I mean, like, okay, listen, this is not a political podcast, but we're Canadians. 9/11 happened. How many Canadian citizens lost their lives in Afghanistan to fight a war for the US? Only for this guy, not even 2 decades later, to turn around and say, I'm going to crush your economy and I'm going to annex you. It just goes to show nobody is the US's friend, and they're not friends with anyone. 4 years, what was it, 2 years ago when they started the Ukraine war? They basically propped up Ukraine to be a proxy to fight Russia. They're the ones who baited Ukraine, go fight Russia, we'll give you weapons. Just do it, right? Just do it. And then they're like literally just humiliating Zelensky in the White House. It's like, bro, the US has no friends and is not your friend. It's only a convenience. It doesn't matter. There's no like bigger Western world. There's no like we our values are aligned and none of that stuff. It's just an empire. Sometimes you're on the good side of the empire, sometimes you're on the bad side of the empire. That's all. And we're getting to the Dynasty Warriors part of it. We're gonna have the four kingdoms or the three kingdoms, or we're gonna have warring states pretty soon. And then it's gonna be the next Dynasty Warriors game, and Trump is gonna be fighting Lubu. Trump's gonna be Lubu.
Trump's gonna be Lubu. Perfect. We have our thumbnail for the video.
Yeah, we should AI that shit.
Well, that's gonna be a crazy image. I can't wait.
Yo, that's gonna be wild, bro. I don't care. I'm okay with AI and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't gonna pay an artist to draw a thumbnail for us, so
well,
AI is the best we can do.
We were gonna pay Studio Ghibli to draw it in their style. We were just gonna. Oh my god, do you see that shit?
Dude, that stuff is crazy, though.
That's terrible. It's kind of sad, man. I feel like.
Oh no, I'm on the side of Studio Ghibli. This is like sad to see.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, even growing up, a lot of Studio Ghibli works are like, a lot of them are like dubbed into Arabic. Like they're the OG like classic Arabic dubbed like animes that like I watched growing up, and like there's just like this fond memory for the art style. Like it does something, right? You get a feeling from that art style from that studio, but. Yeah,
and I think that it's totally the reason why they chose that art style to begin with
like,
first.
Have you seen all this stupid like right-wing red pill freaking stealing this stuff and just doing these stupid memes with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Using AI. It's just so sad. It's just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Did you hear Sam Altman's, or did you see Sam Altman's like tweet?
No.
He was saying like the graphics cards are going on fire from all the requests for the Studio Ghibli artwork.
Actually?
Yeah. Or like, yeah, they're not doing well. They're getting hammered.
Yeah. Did you see Miyazaki's AI comments? He had some like, it was this video that resurfaced from like 10 years ago where there's Japanese studio was like showing him like some AI like thing that they were playing with.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost it, bro. He was like, this is just like, he's like,
yeah,
this is just
he
gross.
Definitely wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, so maybe he'll move on to just releasing Elden Ring 2. Just kidding. Just kidding. Wrong Miyazaki.
No, that's the right one. That's the right one. He's gonna take up game development.
Have you seen those memes where like it's like Hayao Miyazaki, and it's like it's a picture of him, and it's like, when are you gonna release Bloodborne? Hayao Miyazaki confirms that he has no plans to develop Bloodborne 2 and hasn't even heard of Bloodborne.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah. So there's two Miyazakis. For those who don't know, there's a Miyazaki who is the studio head of like Studio Ghibli, and he's like an animator, filmmaker, like for anime. And there's Hidetaka Miyazaki, who is the head of From Software, who creates like, the Dark Souls franchise and Elden Ring. Two completely like separate vibes, of course. Right? Like, have you seen that meme where it's like a girl and a guy are like meet each other, and then it's like she's like, I love Miyazaki's work, and he's like, me too, and they're like thinking about two different things.
Yeah, and they both have like that was it's from 500 Days of Summer, right? When Joseph Gordon-Levitt is on one side with the with the
Yes,
finals,
yes.
and Zoe
Yes.
Deschanel is on the other
Yes,
side, and they're
that's
both
what it
thinking
is.
about different Miyazakis.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
that's
God.
good.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's kind of depressing. It's depressing for sure. But I'm down for using AI to create Trump Blue Boo. And then you should put my head on what's his name? The dude I like?
On Guan Yu.
Guan Yu. Just freaking fighting Trump. That'd be amazing, bro.
We could probably
Anyway,
arrange something.
let's course correct. Let's get back on track here. So Switch 2 is in 2 days, but Nintendo dropped. I don't know if we discussed this last podcast because I can't remember if it was announced yet or not. Because it was.
It wasn't. It was
It
like
wasn't. So yeah,
it was like the day before they announced it out of nowhere.
yeah. So there was actually rumors. I saw rumors that Nintendo was planning a Nintendo Switch 1 Direct on the 27th of March, which just passed last Thursday. And I didn't add it to the show notes because I'm like, this is BS. Why on earth would they have a Switch 1 Direct a week before the Switch 2?
Mm-hmm.
But lo and behold, they did. And I guess it kind of makes sense. It's kind of like, hey, listen, we have the Switch 2 coming up, but we don't want to confuse you guys. And we got some more like Switch 1 stuff that's kind of lagging behind. We want to let you know that it's there for the Switch 1 users before we move on to the Switch 2, but we don't want to confuse you guys. So we're going to do two separate things. And they did, and we got a bigger look into Metroid Prime 4, or is it Metroid Prime Beyond? I think it's like, I can't remember the exact
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Or Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. We got a look into that, extended gameplay. We got more of a look into Pokemon Z to A. We got a look into and a release date for that Shadow Labyrinth, the Pac-Man horror Metroidvania like. We got to look at Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake. Patapon 1 and 2 remaster or remake coming to Switch. Those who don't know, that is a PSP Sony exclusive. So this is interesting. We're seeing another Sony exclusive game coming to Switch. We saw Lego Horizon Adventures come out late last year. So that's interesting. We got to look at this game that people have been waiting forever called Witchbrook, which is this cozy, beautiful pixel art kind of life sim, but in a kind of a Hogwarts-like witchcraft wizardry school look. This game was like, I think, announced in like 2017. I think it's kind of Stardew Valley-ish, but 2017, it's been like years people have been waiting for this thing. We got to look at Eternal Life of Goldman. Gradius Origins, several games from that franchise. Rift of the Necrodancer coming to Switch. And we got, I'm confused. Okay, because we got a game called Tamagotchi Plaza, but for some reason the guy doing the direct called it Tamagotchi. So maybe I don't know how to pronounce Tamagotchi. And then there's another game called, which they topped it off with, called Tomodachi Life. I don't know what Tomodachi Life is. They look like knees. Apparently it was like a Wii game or something. And apparently everyone in Japan is freaking out over it. Like the hype for this Tomodachi Life basically shatters even the Switch 2 hype in Japan right now. So I don't know what the deal is with this game. They actually topped it off with this game. This was like the last thing. So obviously it's a big deal. You know,
yeah. Is this God of War, but on Nintendo Switch?
Yeah. So was there anything specifically that caught your eye that you want to talk about?
I think Metroid Prime 4 is probably the biggest thing that I'm interested in.
Yeah. So, okay. What is your history with Metroid?
I'm like on and off. Like I've never played the original ones. I played Prime on Wii. Then I played the Metroid, what's it called? The newest one on Switch that came out.
Metroid Dread.
Yes, I played
Did,
Dread.
did you play that to the end?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. That made me kind of go back to some of the older Metroid games, but I just haven't found time to play more of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I kind of prefer the 3D look or like the first person look to Metroid
Yeah.
Prime. Yeah, those were like classic on the Wii system.
Yeah, so I have no history with this franchise. I was not a Nintendo kid at all. I didn't really have a Nintendo console growing up. My first Nintendo console was a DS, and it was just like the handheld. And I, to be honest with you, it was more of my little brother's. Like I played a few things on it, nothing insane. And then I got a Switch because my wife wanted a Switch like a few years back when we got married. And I've played a few games on the Switch. I'm not really even that much of a Switch person. It's nice for a lot of indie games, and it's kind of my handheld console when we go somewhere. But I've been meaning to try to get into this franchise. Metroid Dread came out. I borrowed a copy from my friend. I've tried to play that game like twice. I think it would get like an hour and a half in, and then it'd get stuck, and then I got frustrated and kind of moved
Yeah,
on. Then Metroid Prime 1 remaster came out in 2023. Same thing. Borrowed a copy from my friend. Went to Mexico. I was going to play it in Mexico. I got like an hour in as well, and I just really couldn't jive with it. So I was looking forward to this game. I thought I was going to be okay. This is like the new Metroid Prime. But I'm not going to lie, from what I saw, I don't, and maybe this is exactly what Metroid people want to see, but from what I saw, I was kind of like, eh, whatever.
I
It
think we
just
just
kind of looks
haven't
like
gotten
Prime.
entry for a very long time.
Yeah, but I feel like this thing's been overhyped. I feel like no, like it's been like, when did it first get revealed with just the name Metroid Prime 4?
It's
Wasn't
been a
that
long
like
time, I'm
years
pretty
ago?
sure.
Wasn't that like 2020 or 2019?
Yeah, I think people have been asking for it for like a very long.
Yeah, so it kind of feels weird. It's like, this is what you guys cooked. Like, I get it. It's a Metroid game, but I don't really. Then she has a
So it was
hypnosis.
announced in 2017.
Yeah. Like, this is what 8 years of development looks like. It doesn't. I don't know. This did not interest me. The game's still on my radar. I'm probably going to pick up a copy and play when it comes out. Just to say
Dude,
I
I
played
saw
it.
the fake mock-ups that someone did on like a Switch 2 Metroid Prime edition. I was like, damn, that looks so nice, but they're
Oh,
never gonna make it.
oh no. They won't.
Never.
And if they do, they'll do it in like a year from now.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a report that this game is not going to show up at the Switch 2 Direct this week. So I don't know. Is it going to be like, it's going to be backwards compatible because
It was built on the Switch one.
I think did we confirm that the Switch 1 games will be backwards compatible? Yeah, we confirmed that already. Yeah. So Switch 1 games will be backwards compatible on Switch 2. We don't know if it's going to be like spiced up, if it's going to get a performance boost or not, right? We're not sure. Um So the report says it's not going to show up at the Switch 2 Direct. There is also another report that is saying that I want to get this right. This is from Video Games Chronicle. It says Nintendo's small print suggests some Switch games will get enhanced Switch 2 editions. Yeah. I don't know where they saw this. Was this at this original Switch 2 Switch
I think
reveal?
that was on the very bottom of their games page. It was like a
Yeah.
fine print almost.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure. We'll see. Well, I mean, we'll know. We'll know in a few days here. But I mean, I feel like this would be a game that's prime for that, right?
Yeah, to have like
To
an addition that gives like a bit more visual fidelity and stuff like
exactly,
that.
yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm holding out. I'm holding out. From what I see, like just visually looking, if this wasn't a franchise that's such a big renowned name, and this was such a very highly anticipated game, I probably not that interested. But we'll see when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
What did you think about Pokemon ZA?
I don't know. I'm not too excited about this. Again, like I'd have to see what the Switch 2 like will bring in terms of any enhancements, but like if it like brings me back to like the Arceus and kind of the emptiness of Arceus sometimes, I don't think I'd be too interested.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see for this one. This one's a big what if. But I'm glad that this mechanic is getting a sequel. Uh, it definitely just is nice not to play like a mash game,
Hear me
aka
out.
like
Hear me out.
the original Pokemon.
After this direct, first of all, I'm not buying ZA. I do not. This game looks like it's a PS2 game. Honest to God. Doesn't look interesting at all to me. I don't know why Arceus Legends looked more interesting to me at the time. This just does nothing for me. Again, same question. I don't know if it's going to be enhanced on the Switch 2. It seems like it would be like a prime candidate. But tell me you wouldn't rather play a Pokemon game that's 2D pixel art in the style of that Witchbrook game that we also saw on this show.
I mean, that is the way. I think I would honestly rather play like a 3DS Pokemon game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just like Game Freak.
Yeah, Game Freak needs to figure out their stuff and and actually publish good Pokemon games.
Do they though? People are gonna just buy it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you see? Oh, I did want to talk about this virtual game card thing. Did you see that?
I did. This is super interesting to me for sharing games.
Hear me out. I watched this and my initial thought was, wait, you couldn't do this already? So this virtual game card is this new function on Switch consoles. We don't know how it's going to carry over to Switch 2, but I imagine it's probably going to also work on the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Whereby if you have a digital game downloaded on your Switch console, you can move it to another Switch console or lend it to a friend for up to 2 weeks who has another Switch console. I don't know. This was very confusing. I'd watch the video for the listeners, but I was like, wait, if I own 2 Switch consoles at home and I bought a copy of a game digitally, I couldn't just log into my account on another Switch and download it?
Dude, it's not that easy.
Which is crazy. That makes no sense. I'm like, okay, so you added a function you should always had.
Yes, basically.
So if my Switch broke and I bought a new Switch and I logged into my account, I cannot play those digital games that are downloaded on that old broken Switch.
I think so. You have to like transfer it somehow.
That I paid
it's
for
really confusing.
Money. That's insane, man. Look, like a PS5 right now, I could buy a new PS5, log into my credentials, and my digital library will be there, and I could download my digital library. Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, your save data doesn't also transfer over easily either
on the Switch. Yeah, as well.
Yeah. I really hope Nintendo figures out their like sync and save and their purchases issues. Like,
there's a couple of games there's a couple of games I have on my Switch that I'm hoping to transfer over to the Switch 2 for sure.
Yeah, it's not an issue if you do have your existing Switch. I'm pretty sure should transfer easily. But yeah, it's just whenever you like break your Switch, it's really, really annoying. And then same with the SD cards. You can't just I don't think they're hot swappable, so you can't just like eject it and then put it into your new Switch and all that data will transfer over. I'm almost positive. Don't quote me on that, but
yeah, I just watched that and I was like,
yeah, they definitely took some cues from Steam Family as well. So on Steam, if you own like a copy of the game or like whatever, I think you can let your family or like people in your family play it if you're not currently using that license.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy multiple like licenses and then you can like share that with your family.
Yeah, it seemed like that was the idea. Like you have like if you have a bunch of kids and you buy one Switch game and you have like 3 or 4 kids and each one has their own Switch and they want to play a specific game, you like lend it out to them through this virtual thing. Just buy hard copies of the game, dude. No? I feel it's a lot easier. Pop, done. I mean, kids probably will eat it too, but they taste bad anyway. The Switch, what do you call it?
Yeah, because they have Bitrix on it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of was it like Xbox or no? Was it Sony or Microsoft like trolling each other? Like, oh, this is how you share like a game, and
It
then they
was
just like
Sony.
literally
It was
passed it.
Sony
Yeah.
in the infamous E3, like the PS4 E3, where when Xbox came out, basically it was like, yeah, this Xbox One is going to be the only online console, always online console, and blah blah blah
Oh,
blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah.
And then PS4, they did the whole like, I think it was Shuhei Yoshida and I forget his name, and they're like, this is how you share a game on PS4. And one guy gives a hard copy to the other. It destroyed Xbox. That thing, like that was like the start of like the end for them on that one. I mean, not the real end, but the end of maybe the start of the end of the console wars.
Mm-hmm.
There was another thing that they showed off, which is this new Nintendo Switch app called Nintendo Today, where they said we're going to be dropping all the important Nintendo news moving forward on this app, a specific app, not like a blog or a website or a news, whatever. No,
Yeah, yeah.
you got to download this app. And I didn't download the app, and I guess I was like, yeah, whatever, Nintendo, sure. And then I guess they tested it. They're like, oh, you don't want to download the app? Watch this. And they like dropped a bunch of news
Yeah.
following this direct, including a release date for the new Zelda movie, which we don't know nothing about.
Yeah. That was like
Yeah,
out of nowhere too. I was like, "Oh man, they're never going to like use this app. It's just something that people will download and then like people
yeah,
will forget on their phone." And then bam, they dropped the Zelda movie in news. I
yeah.
was like, "What?"
Albeit it's very far away, March 26, 2027. Oh, 2 years from now. And there's talks, word on the street is they're plotting a movie trilogy for Zelda. And it is set to be filmed in New Zealand. In addition, they also kind of revealed the mysterious C button everybody's been talking about on the Nintendo Today app. There's an image of the Switch 2, which shows on that little small button on the bottom the letter C, which previously was not there when they did the reveal in January.
Hmm.
So yeah, remind me, I'm going to download this. I'm sorry, Nintendo. I'll do everything you tell me today. You tell me to do, including buy that alarm clock. I have downloaded.
And listen to music through their Nintendo Music app.
Yes, yes, not on Spotify or anything else, like every other video game soundtrack. Anyway, so that is that. Do you so Tomodachi Life? Was there anything else that kind of piqued your interest? And then I could talk about a few of the things that I thought.
No, I think that covers it for the direct. I don't think there was much. There wasn't very
It
much
wasn't
that
it
caught
wasn't
my eye.
that crazy. Yeah, yeah. There is a game, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that I saw and I am really looking forward to. This is a 2D side scrolling pixel art beat 'em up uh from none other than .mu, who make the best looking 2D pixel art games. And of recent, I'm going to mention the games that they've kind of either developed and published or published recently. TMNT Shredder's Revenge in 2022, which is the same style as this. I guess I should backtrack. This is Marvel characters. So there's Spider-Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Venom. Looks really good. Side-scrolling beat 'em up. Same thing as TMNT Shredder's Revenge, if you've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks wicked. I am excited for this. I mean, other games from .mu, which are apparently coming this year, is that Ninja Gaiden Ragebound game, the 2D side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden, also coming from the studio this year. This studio also famed for some other games that have come out recently that I've mostly played. Metal Slug Tactics from last year, Streets of Rage 4 from 2020, which is an amazing game. Windjammers 2 from 2021, I believe, also amazing game. So yeah, I am really excited for this, and it's a
Yeah.
late 2025 release.
Dude, the character models though just remind me of like the
What era of Marvel is that?
the
That's like,
arcade, the Marvel arcade fighters.
isn't that like 1990s, early 90s Marvel
Yeah,
style?
I love the sprites that they use for this.
Yeah, this I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm really excited for this game. There's Everybody's Golf Hot Shots new golf game coming out. beloved golf franchise.
Is it golf or is it mini golf?
It's golf. It's golf. I don't care. It kind of looks like a PS3 game as well, but yeah. Monument Valley 1, 2, and 3 all coming to Nintendo Switch. Solo Frontier 2 remastered. Fantasy Life: The Girl That Steals Time. The Wandering Village is coming to Switch. Star Overdrive. High on Life, the game by the guy who did Rick and Morty. Yeah, with the Rick and Morty voice.
Yeah, I didn't really like that game.
I
Don't care for
played
it.
a little bit of it, but I found the humor was a little bit too much. Like it was kind of distracting. I know you could like tone it down a bit and get like the knife and the gun to talk less, but yeah.
Yeah. I
Rhythm
played through
Heaven.
that
Sorry,
the
go
whole
ahead.
game and it was just like, I don't know. It wasn't for me, I don't think.
Yeah, Rhythm Heaven Groove. Also coming. Apparently this is an old franchise as well that I don't know anything about. And I think that is it. I think that's everything. Well, there's this Villains Cursed Cafe Disney freaking coffee making game. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Patapon. That looks good. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 look really good, but I don't know, man. These games, they're too long, too much dialogue. But these HC 2D remakes
Yeah.
look great.
It's gonna be like a huge time investment. Like people that buy like the Final Fantasy like pixel remasters, like the amount of time that takes to finish.
Yeah. So that is the Switch Direct. So we're getting pretty close to the Switch 2. There's a few rumors also coming around this week. There was some rumors that said that Switch 2 will let you connect directly to your Switch 1. That kind of sounds real considering what we saw with the game sharing thing. What did they call it? Virtual card. And lastly, apparently the Switch 2 will have a 3-phase launch plan for its games. I don't know what this means, but it sounds like it's going to be like phase 1 is going to focus on first party stuff, Mario Kart presumably, and maybe, we don't know, 3D Mario perhaps. Then it's going to be, I think it's let me actually refresh myself on this article. But I believe the second phase is they're going to have probably another direct in the summer, which shows a lot of these third-party games and a lot of the ones where it's actually stuff being ported to the Switch 2. We've been talking all year about rumors of things being ported to the Switch 2. I think we talked about Metal Gear Solid Delta, Microsoft Flight Sim, Age of Mythology Retold, a few games from Xbox, a few games from third-party publishers, ports coming out to Switch 2. Yeah, so we'll see. Time will tell how these games are going to come out. But that is Switch 2. So, Derwin, we were talking this week, and I said, we need to spice up the podcast. We can't just be talking about boring news and talking about the same games we've been playing. We need to do a fun segment. So, I'm going to start thinking of fun segment ideas. You're going to start thinking of fun segment ideas. But since we've just been talking Nintendo, I'm not going to leave the fun segment to the end of the episode. We're going to talk fun segment right now. Right in the middle of the news, baby. Fun segment time. And for today's fun segment on this episode of the Slow Run Cast, we are going to be talking Nintendo Switch 2 predictions. Are you ready?
Predictions or leaks? Because we already have a lot of leaks.
Predictions. I'm gonna be asking the questions. You're gonna be answering.
All right.
Question number 1, Derwin. How much is the Switch 2 gonna cost? USD and Canadian.
I think we had leaks already, right?
I'm gonna refresh your memory a little, but the Switch 2 USD is $300. Not the Switch 2, the Switch 1 USD $300. Canadian $400. OLED $450. My question is, what is going to be the price of this thing?
I think this one's like going to be a pretty easy one. $399 USD is what's leaked, and I do believe it.
$399 USD.
Yeah, that works out to be about 600 Canadian, right?
If
it's fluctuating hard, but our currency is not doing good.
Yep. The thing is, you have to keep in mind when they do the Canadian pricing, it's not like the pricing is fluctuating. They kind of just pick a fixed thing and they go with it.
Yeah.
Like if you recall, the PS5, the digital was 400 USD and it came out to 500 Canadian. Whereas the disc was 500 USD and it came out to 630 Canadian on launch.
Yeah.
And then they boosted up the price of both later. They made the digital 550 Canadian, I think. And
Yeah.
the
It was like 6
physical
months
to
after, right?
660.
Or
I don't know
something
if it
like
was
that.
6 months after. I think it was pretty soon after. I think it was about a year or two.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 600 Canadian. I feel like, so right now the conversion is bringing it to 570, but I don't think that they're gonna give us a break and make it 550. I think they're gonna push it to 599. Yeah. I unfortunately think that it is because they might see that our currency is not doing very good, and they don't want to take the hit.
I was going to say 500 before this, but now you got me thinking. I'm going to go with
That's a
550.
$70 discount that they would give us.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 550.
You're gonna go 550.
Yeah, I think they'll
Yeah,
be nice.
I think it could swing either way, but I just feel like the way that Nintendo has their has us literally by the balls.
Does it though? To buy Switch 2? Does it? How many people are on Switch 1s?
Who's
How many other
not gonna
people are
buy
going
a,
to
Who's not gonna buy a Switch 2 though?
Come on, bro. Think about it. I have a Switch 1 at home. There's Switch 2. It costs $570 or $600 like you're suggesting. All I do is play Animal Crossing on it. Am I really going to go out and buy it?
Yeah, but some people are like deep into it, right? Like,
But think about all these kids. Are they going to really go buy a Switch 2 to go play Fortnite and Roblox?
well, it's not about these kids, about these parents.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Are the parents going to go buy six?
Well, like they'll
7?
see like how long the Switch 1 lasted their kid the first time.
I think you think they're But why not make it last longer?
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
All I'm arguing is if you price this thing too heavy, too aggressive, no one buys it. You don't make your money anyway. You want it to sell, right? So I don't know, but no, I agree with what you're saying. It's like with the way the economy is, and with the way the currency conversion rate is, and with the way these tariffs are coming, we could be in for a doozy.
Yeah. Like 550 would be nice. Like I would like to see that, but I think just realistically,
It's a
they're
nice
just
number.
going to see how like rough the dollar is and then they'll price it.
600 pretty steep, man, especially for a console that came out for 400.
Yeah, but their margins probably not very high on this console, right?
But they
Like
actually have margins where they make money.
Right.
Xbox and PlayStation sells them at a loss. These guys make money on their hardware, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It also depends on what the launch title are. Right? Is it just going to be Mario Kart? Is it going to be? Are they going to go Mario Kart backwards compatible? Is it going to be a Switch Mario Kart and Switch 2? Right? Are they going to make it Switch 2 exclusive?
You know, okay, I'd be okay. So let's say like Switch 2 launches. I would be okay with them charging $600 if they bundle like a Mario, like the old Mario Kart, like Mario Kart, is it 8 Deluxe?
8 Deluxe?
With it for 600. Because
I'm okay
realistically, people will have these already, right? And then it'll entice people that don't have a Switch 1 to buy the Switch 2, and they'll be like, okay, well, it's $600, but it comes with a game, so it kind of like sweetens the deal, you know? For a game that most people will already have, and then like you plan on releasing a second one pretty soon.
Do you really want Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundled with your Switch 2? Is that going to really buy anyone?
Well, I think
Who
it just like sweetens
Mario
the
Kart
deal
8
for certain
Deluxe?
people, right? Not everybody, but for certain
Who hasn't
people.
bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe yet?
Well, you can swap it out for another one like Mario Galaxy or something.
Mario Wonder or something.
Yeah, right?
Here's the thing. If the new Mario Kart is not a Switch 2 exclusive, it's going to be on Switch 1, and you price your console $600, and if whatever other first-party exclusives you have coming out on launch, rumored 3D Mario, if that is also on the Switch 1, no one's buying your console for 600 Canadian dollars. I'm just telling you straight up. If they could play those two games on the Switch, no one's buying the console day one for 600 Canadian dollars. If you make them exclusive, more people will buy your console. I don't know if it'll be enough to push people to still buy the 600. Parents, at least. People like, bro, Me and you are going to be okay with whatever it is. It's going to be $1,000. We're going to buy the Switch 2 for $1,000. Let's be honest.
Whoa! 1,000.
$1,000. We're going to be okay with it, bro. Don't worry.
I don't know.
They'll give us some stupid remake. We'll be like, oh my god, I gotta play this. Yeah. Okay. Here's my second question leading up into this. Are there going to be more than one SKU? And I'm going to ask you the third question back to back. Is there going to be an OLED screen?
Okay, more than one SKU. Like, what do you mean? Like, like storage sizing, or just
Doesn't
like
matter. Whatever. Storage sizing, screen, performance.
No, I think I think initial launch, first 6 months, only one SKU.
One SKU.
Yes.
Okay.
And no OLED screen.
$600, no OLED screen.
It hurts, but there's none of the marketing so far has like indicated that it's an OLED screen.
I agree with you, but I'm really holding out hope that there's an OLED screen version for another $50.
No way.
No, really?
I don't know. Like, we've only seen the one mock-up, so it's kind of hard to say. And the thing is, like, there's supposed to be so many of these out there, right? And if none of them has reported that, like, I'm very hesitant to say that it's got an OLED screen.
I hate to admit you're right. I don't think there's going to be an OLED screen as well. I was just hoping there would be one with an OLED screen, a SKU with an OLED screen.
I think that's going to eventually come, but I don't think it's going to be this year. I think they might want to sell off some of their initial inventory, and then they like add in the OLED as like a little mid cycle refresh.
What kind of cheese is that though? You put OLED on Switch 1, then we get to look at that old screen. It looks beautiful, it looks crisp. There's those Steam Decks with OLED screens, and then you're just gonna turn around and freaking not have an OLED screen on your launch Switch on your launch Switch 2. Oh man. It's just brutal. I know. Yeah. I understand economically. I know why you're arguing this. I get it. I just hate it. Hate it.
Like, if you look at the product stack for a lot of these electronics, like OLED is not like the golden standard yet, right? Like, if you are looking at a higher performance, yeah, it is a standard. But if you're looking at like a general consumer electronic for the masses, it doesn't have an OLED screen. Like, your iPhone 16s are still regular LCD screens, right?
It's just the problem is once you go OLED, you can't go.
Oh yeah, like if it doesn't have an OLED screen, I don't know. I might not be interested unless they come out with some sick launch games.
Okay, well, all right. I'm gonna say there's gonna be more than one SKU, but it's gonna be color based. I think.
Oh, okay, like a color based SKU. Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be another color. I really like the black.
The black looks really good.
Yeah, the black is really nice.
Yeah.
Like, if they made a white version of that, I don't think I'd care for it.
Yeah. Next question. What the heck is the C button? What is it going to do?
Dude,
what's the hype about the C button?
So, technically, they already have a capture button. That one's, like, on the left Joy-Con, right?
Yeah.
So, then they have a home button. So what would be like the C button
under it? I don't know.
Like, would it be a button to turn on the laser, like for the mouse function? You think?
That was going to be my next question. Is the mouse function legit? You think the mouse function is?
Oh yeah, real? I think the mouse function is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Nintendo loves doing like these weirder things. Like we saw with like the Wiimote, and then even the Wii U. It was like kind of like a weird function.
The screen that.
Yeah. So I think it will act as a mouse, but like whether or not the C button is for that is like weird. Like, what else would that button be for?
That's a good question. It's placed in a weird spot. I don't understand the hype about it. I don't know why everyone keeps talking about it.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a commonly used placement area. Like, it's right beside your home screen. So like, what are the chances you actually will use it lots? You know?
Beats me. Okay. Let's talk about games. Mario Kart 9. Is that what we saw in the preview? Is that Mario Kart 9?
Yeah, I think it's Mario Kart 9.
Okay.
It's due.
Going back to what we were saying, is Mario Kart 9 Switch 2 exclusive, or is that on both consoles?
I think it'll be a Switch 2 exclusive. There's no way they're moving Switch 2s without it. Well, like, not to the volume that they expect, I think. Like there needs to be some exclusive games to get people like hyped to buy one, you know?
It's a very good point. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, it's a double-edged sword. You lose out on all those people buying Mario Kart 9, or do you lose all those people who choose not to buy Switch because they could just buy Mario Kart 9 for their current Switch? It's a
Yeah.
weird business. What other games? Or do you want me to list ideas and then you say yes or no?
Sure, why don't we do that? I think it'll be quicker.
3D Mario. New 3D Mario, like Odyssey.
Yeah, I think so. Like
Is
they
it
need
gonna-
to have like their anchor
Is
big
it gonna-
3.
Is it going to be a sequel to any of the 3D Mario kind of lines? Is it going to be Mario Galaxy 3? Is it going to be Mario Odyssey 2? Or is it going to be something else? Mario Sunshine?
Dude, I would totally play Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a sequel.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be a sequel.
All right. Anything Zelda? Do you think we're get anything?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Do you not think we're going to get some type of enhanced special version of Breath of the Wild? Maybe a remaster or something?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I honestly think so because like that is like one of their anchor games on the Switch. So like people again to like get people excited, that might be something that they would do. Yeah, and it probably doesn't cost too much money to like improve the textures and stuff. Considering like I think more so Tears of the Kingdom, like if you played it on a ROM on an actual like very well performing PC, it did look better. So
Yeah,
the
I've
capability
seen-
is probably already there.
Yeah. Okay. Where was I? I had one in my mind. It just slipped my mind. Oh my god. Okay. Metroid Prime 4 is going to be on Switch 1. Is it simply going to be a backwards compatible Switch 1 game that you could play on Switch 2? Or is there a Switch 2 version of this game
There's probably a Switch 2 version of this game.
that performs better?
Yeah.
Okay.
In some sort of capacity.
Pokemon ZA, same question.
Same thing. I think
Yeah.
any of these newer, like soon to be released titles will have like a bit of a special edge.
Okay, I'm going to diverge for a bit and then come back. How powerful do you think this console is going to be? And I'm going to list some things to compare it to. PS4 Pro, Xbox Series S, Steam Deck. What do you think? I'm going to say it's probably not a ROG Ally powerful or a Lenovo Legion Go powerful, but
Yeah.
what do you think? I don't think it's going to be a PS5 or a Series X powerful, to be honest with you. But maybe it is. Those are 5 years old now.
Series S.
Series X and PS5 are 5 years old now. Maybe you could bundle all that power into a little Switch.
Yeah.
What do
Maybe
you think?
Series S.
Series S.
Yeah, Series S or like PS4 Pro, maybe. Because those are
Two
pretty
different-
old in terms of like chips. They're probably cheaper to buy now.
Yeah, tough one. I'm hoping Series S powerful. If it's as powerful as the Series S, that's going to be good.
Yeah. What are the chip leaks? It's supposed to be based on a NVIDIA Tegra T239.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So we'll have like DLSS and stuff. I don't know.
HDR or no on the Switch too.
If it's got an LCD screen, it probably won't have very good HDR. So no.
No, in 2025, a console drops with no HDR support. At least, what about docked?
Mm,
What if Nvidia's making the chips and they're just like, bro, whatever you want doesn't. We don't even make that garbage
okay,
anymore.
maybe docked, but not on handheld.
Not on handheld.
Yeah, not on handheld. Like the quality of screen would have to be a lot nicer.
4K native.
No.
No.
No native 4K, maybe DLSS. And it probably only plays like 1080p or 1440p handheld.
1080p or 1440p handheld.
Yeah. Probably only 1080p, let's be honest here.
No 4K dock, not even upscaled. But you think it's going to have DLSS?
Okay, if it 4K, if it's like sampled like that, and it probably will only be like 30 frames per second if you're playing like actually 4K, I think. If it's
Variable
1440p upscaled to 4K, then I'll probably play like 60 FPS.
variable refresh rate.
Like docked, it could probably, but like I don't know if the screen itself, like if you play handheld, if it'll be VRR supported.
Important question: stick drift or no stick drift?
So depending on if they were going to use Halo effects joysticks, I think Nintendo has learned. I think that
Yeah, that's fixed.
that it'll be fixed.
Pro controller on launch or no?
Pro controller on launch,
Special Switch 2 Pro controller.
like designed and made by Nintendo or made by a third party?
First party.
A first party Pro controller.
Yes.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay. Compatibility with Switch 1 controllers?
Yeah, I think
Joy-Cons?
okay, not Joy-Cons, but like
Pro?
I assume Bluetooth like controllers will work.
Pro controller
Yeah.
will work, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly don't think the
Joy-Cons?
Joy-Cons will work very well with it.
Why not?
If it has like all the other special features, right? They might have like a hardware limitation to prevent you from trying to dock the Joy-Cons and stuff specifically.
Release date.
I actually kind of think it's closer than we think. I think it's like
I think it's really close.
yeah, I think it's like really close.
I think June.
You think June? I'm almost even tempted to say May.
Maybe.
Like May 28th, May 30th time frame even.
I'm going to literally give you a day. You got to pick a day.
I got to pick a date.
The one who's closer to it.
Are we playing like Price is Right rules?
What's Price is Right rules? Explain that to me.
So like once that date is over, so like let's say I picked like May 28th and it came out May 29th, then I automatically would lose anyways because my date has expired kind of deal.
No.
Just whoever's closest?
Whoever's closest.
Okay, I'm going to say I really like the ring of May 28th, so I'm going to go with May 28th.
I'm going to go June.
Wait, let me just double check.
I'm going June 5th.
What date, May 28th?
I'm going Thursday, June 5th.
Thursday,
June 5th. The Switch 2 will be released.
You think it's a Thursday, and I for some reason think it's a Wednesday. All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
It's crazy we'll both think it's that close.
If you pay attention to video game releases, they always seem to be mostly on Tuesdays or Thursdays. There's some games that are released on Fridays, and rarely will a game come out on a Wednesday or Monday. And same is true for consoles. The Series X came out on a Tuesday, and the PS5 came out on a Thursday. So I'm going on a Thursday.
I don't know. I just like the ring of May 28th. This is purely like...
This is going to be coming out right around Summer Games Fest, bro. Like, Summer Games Fest is going to be happening. We're going to see all these reveals and launches and stuff like that. And, yeah. Okay, last one. Do you think all of these rumors we're hearing about some of these more powerful games, especially all the rumors about the Xbox games coming to Switch 2, do you think they're true, or do you think they're partially true? Let me list off some games. Halo Master Chief Collection to the Switch 2.
Honestly, I think they are all true. Because Xbox has really put all the Xbox ones.
Okay.
Maybe not so much the Sony ones, but the Xbox ones.
What about Metal Gear Solid Delta? Snake Eater.
Oh,
okay. I have a Microsoft one to push back on you. Microsoft Flight Sim 2024?
I think so. Like if it has like about the same power series, it might not look as like great, but like it probably will still run.
It won't look as great, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I think our standard is will it run? You know? Because it runs doesn't mean it runs great, like Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh my god. I think that's all I gotta ask. Let's wait and see. Don't forget, guys. Wednesday, April 2nd at 7 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yes. And we will be recording. Technically, I think we have to record on the 3rd. Because the 4th, I leave at 4:50 p.m.
When is the 3rd? So we got to record on Thursday.
Yes.
And you're gone Friday, Saturday.
All the way till the 11th.
The 11th. So we got to record next episode right after this. That's going to be exciting. Yeah. We're going to have enough time to edit, or you just got to drop it raw?
I'm going to drop it raw.
Let's go. Whew. All right. That is the end of fun segment. stay tuned for next week's fun segment, which will probably just be talking about the Switch too. But Switch. Moving on to some boring news, but we got to talk about it anyway. Ubisoft and Tencent unveil the new subsidiary for Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, and a bunch of other IP. So, did you read the full thing from Yves Guillemot?
I did not.
Because I don't want to speak out of line here. But this is okay. So I'm going to read verbatim from a website. This is from Video Game Chronicle on March 27th. March 27th was a busy day. That Switch reveal, and then this now. Ubisoft and Tencent unveil new subsidiary for Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Tencent will own a minority stake in the new subsidiary, which will focus on 3 IPs. And the IPs, it sounds like they're going to be the big ones: Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. And the subsidiary has been valued at $4 million, and Tencent will be investing $1.16 billion to gain a minority stake of around 25% in it. What exactly this means for fans for the series remains to be seen at this stage, but the investment by Tencent likely gives it a degree of influence over the future direction of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. Ubisoft says the new subsidiary, backed by Tencent's investment, will drive further increases in quality of narrative solo experiences and expand multiplayer offerings with increased frequency on content release, etc., etc., etc. I am no business major, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like Ubisoft is creating this thing that's under Tencent and taking all their important IPs and putting it under this thing so that it's protected, and the OG independent Ubisoft is going to sell off the rest of their IP and disperse. Am I reading too much into this?
I don't know. That's a potential possibility. Or is it just like Tencent is interested in these titles and they want to have like a little bit of a hand in their pot, basically?
Okay, Tencent is already a part shareholder in base Ubisoft.
Yeah.
But okay, if they're interested in those IPs, they're basically telling Ubisoft, you have financial problems. We want to get in to help you, but we don't care about Rayman Legends or I don't know, what's the other game, Rabbids or Prince
Maybe
of
they
Persia.
want to exclusively make sure that their funds are going towards these 3 titles.
Yeah, so but what does that spell for the rest of those titles?
We're never going to get a sequel.
Or what's the point of the rest of Ubisoft, right? You got the Tom Clancy. Is it all of Tom Clancy or specifically Rainbow Six?
Probably just Rainbow Six, I think. Because they specifically said Rainbow Six, right?
So it's not like The Division or anything else.
Yeah. It's specifically Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed, and I guess all of that, and Far Cry, all of that.
I don't know, Derwin. I can't read into this any other way. You take part of your company, it gets shifted under Tencent, who invests a significant amount of money into it, right? And you take these important IPs, the big money makers, and you move them over there, and then everything else you dissolve. You get rid of. You take a few of your important studios, you put it here, and then the rest of the stuff you try to sell it off, or maybe you just license it out to other people.
But like, why make a subsidiary? They could have just sold off their IP directly.
It's good. I don't know. Maybe because the subsidiary, that's the only way Tencent wants it.
Yeah. They want those few titles. They only want a certain percentage.
And they want it in order to save.
Yeah. Or maybe Tencent only wants it like that so that they can see if these games flop even harder and then just buy the IP outright for a lower price.
Maybe.
Right? Because right now they're like 25% minority owners. You know, it tanks. The titles aren't worth anything or worth even less than they are now, and then just scoop up and buy all 3. Makes it easy.
I mean, we've been talking about this all year now, right? We've been talking about Ubisoft. What's happening with Ubisoft? Where are we going to go from here? And it's like every week we get some more news. Yeah, but here's a list of some of the IPs that are going nowhere according to this. Ghost Recon. So yeah, it's not everything Tom Clancy. Splinter Cell, For Honor, Skull and Bones, which is nothing's gonna happen with that. The Division, Motorfest, Just Dance, Riders Republic, which I don't think they'll make another one of those. Prince of Persia, Star Wars Outlaws, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Rayman, Anno.
Yeah. Those video game or those movie video game adaptations, like they might not go anywhere anyways, just because I think they would have to get further licensing for every single game, right?
Which video game adaptations?
Like Star Wars, they probably had like a
Yeah,
contract with
yeah.
Disney for, right?
For
For
one
like
game.
probably just the one game, and then
Yeah,
same with
same
like
with
Avatar. So like
yeah.
those ones don't really matter. But yeah, some of the other ones.
This will include Ubisoft studios in Montreal, Quebec, Sherbrooke, Siguanay, Barcelona, and Sofia. Yeah. What is going to happen with the Star Wars Outlaw studio, who are, I don't know, they're pretty decent developers. Massive. Yeah, I was thinking Respawn, but no, it's massive. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned for more information. I mean, yeah, I think we were saying that this was going to happen regardless, or something was going to happen regardless of how well Assassin's Creed did, which, because, just because of how bad some of these other games did last year, they were in trouble regardless of how well. Like, Assassin's Creed would need to sell like Hogwarts Legacy numbers to keep them under their old business model. And it sold well. Apparently, it's delivered more launch revenue than every other Assassin's Creed game except for Valhalla. And Valhalla was like peak COVID, so
yeah, everybody was just gaming.
There's that. And apparently it sold more physical copies in the UK in 1 week than Star Wars Outlaws did in 3 months. Yeah. So I don't know. More to be seen here. Yeah. Yeah, Ubisoft. Moving on to some better news. Game Informer has been revived. They have been rescued. They are back. And I think their entire team is back even, right? So
yeah,
this was a shocker. They like teased it on like Twitter or something, and then they just came back one shot. There is one little detail here that I'm worried about. It is they're rescued by a blockchain firm.
Yeah, that was like very
That's
very
like yeah. So for those who don't know, Game Informer is a website and a video game news website, and they put opinion pieces and all the other kind of stuff, and they do reviews, but they also run a physical and digital gaming magazine. That's right. You remember those gaming magazines from back in the day. And they were owned by GameStop, and last year GameStop, out of the blue, shut them down, took everything off the website, took all the archives of the magazines off, and basically laid off everybody. This was, I believe, midsummer last year. And yeah, it looks like it got bought out by this blockchain developer, Gunzilla Games, which is a little bit worrisome for me. But the whole team's reunited, and they're back, and they're going to go back to physical print as well, which I am excited for. I did actually mean to start subscribing to their magazine just before they got shut down. But if you make an account right now, you could go back and read some of their issues. All you got to do is
the
make
digital copy. Yeah, you have to sign up.
Yeah, so which is like no money required. You just sign up and you can read the digital copies. Got some cool cover art on them. Just like throwback. Remember, like, oh man, I miss like video game magazines and I miss demo discs. Do you remember that like vibe back in the day?
More so magazines, because I would like, dude, I loved Nintendo Power back in the day.
Oh, Nintendo Power, bro.
That was OG.
Oh, that was a good magazine. Or
Yeah.
what was the PlayStation one? I can't remember.
I think it was just called PlayStation.
Yeah, it was the
official
official PlayStation magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Game Informer was doing physicals, but it was only in the US. I feel like there's only other one magazine that's been running for a while, and that's Edge magazine. The one that's associated with Games Radar.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. So I'm excited for all that, but you know what? I'm also really excited for. This is just a small little thing. Game Informer has the best release schedule list on their website. it's better than any other website. If you want to know what games are coming out and what their release dates are, I just found the Game Informer, just the font, the format, I just felt it so nice to navigate. Like, I just prefer going on their website to see what's new, what's coming out, stuff like that. They have all the months in a nice little category. They have hyperlinks to their reviews if they reviewed a game that's coming out at a specific date. They have all the platforms it's coming out to in brackets. Really love it. So I'm really glad. And I think you threw a link in here.
Yeah, I threw that. I threw the link to that release schedule right
just
on
before.
there. Yeah.
I think just before they shut down the magazine.
No, I just did that now just so that we would have it going forward because I knew you liked it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited for it to be back. And then they when they relaunch the website, they just dump reviews for everything that they've missed in the last, like, I don't know how many months. Like, the first, like, 20 articles that they dump as soon as they get back. I'm going to scroll down a bit here, but it was kind of funny because it was like, just because of how abrupt they got shut down.
Yeah.
Their last article was just like something like just small, weird little article about, where is it here? Ace Attorney Investigation Collection Preview. Like, that was their last article. And then they came back and they have a 1000X Resist review. They dropped that right away on the 24th as soon as I think they were dropping this on the website before it went public. They gave 1000X Resist 9.5. They gave Arco 9. They gave Madden NFL 25 a 7.5. They gave Star Wars Outlaws an 8.5. They gave Casting of Frank Stone 5.5. They gave Astrobot a 10. They gave NBA 2K25 a 7.75. They gave Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2 an 8. They gave the Plucky Squire a 7.25. Mouthwashing 8.75. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom an 8. Silent Hill 2 8.75. Metaphor Fantasio 9. Never a 9. Batman Arkham Shadow an 8.75. Sonic Time Shadow Generation an 8.5. They gave your beloved The Dragon Age The Veilguard an 8. They gave Mighty Morphing Power Rangers a 7.5. And it goes on up until Kingdom Come Deliverance, Monster Hunter, and it keeps going. And then it was the day, I think, that Assassin's Creed Shadows embargo came out that they had the review ready and written up. So it's pretty funny. You just went on their website the day it came down. Yeah, so glad they're back. They also posted, let me see here. They also posted their, like, Game Informer's belated top 10 games of 2024. And their top 10 are Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 1000X Resist, Animal Well, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Metaphor Fantasio, Balatro, and their game of the year was Astrobot. So solid list there. And then they also, if you want to read, they gave each one of their editors their top 10. So each of the 8 or so editors had their top 10 written down there. Excited for Game Informer to be back. Hopefully this blockchain thing isn't going to be an issue.
It's not a bust.
Yeah. You know what is a bust? Warner Brothers. Hogwarts Legacy. So we are talking about Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers have been presumably shitting the bed worse than Ubisoft have been the last few months. And we got news here that the Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition and the Hogwarts Legacy Expansion, neither of which have been confirmed or revealed or shown, they've only been reported, but apparently they've been internally canceled by Warner Brothers, which to me is very interesting. Consider everything they've canceled and shut down the last few months. Hogwarts Legacy being the game that outsold Call of Duty, the only game to outsell Call of Duty in any given calendar year since what? When was the last time a game outsold Call of Duty? Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2013?
Yeah, most likely.
So that is absolutely insane. You think that was their big money maker? They've scrapped the expansion, scrapped the definitive edition. Maybe it's to just start working on the sequel right away. So
Yeah,
that
that's
could
what
be
I
it.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the expansion probably won't make them as much money, so they're just
Correct.
scrapping it and making like a second one.
Yeah. DLCs actually don't sell as good as like actual games as much because most people don't even make it to the end of a game to then buy the DLC to play the DLC.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That's Hogwarts Legacy. And then apparently they were also working on a Mario Kart like crossover game, which was scrapped. It kind of reminds me of the whole multiverses situation. They made like a Smash Bros. Like game with all the Warner Brothers IP, and then they went on to make a Mario Kart game, but
Yeah, yeah.
didn't seem to have worked. But you
Do
know
you
it
think
is
it was a
working.
Harry Potter racer? Is
Yeah,
that a
was that what
thing?
it is? I thought it was like a bunch of other.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, but you know what is working, and you know what is funny? Inzoi, or however you pronounce this, is now the #1 most wanted game on Steam. This is the Korean sim-like, which I'm not gonna lie, has beautiful character models, bro. These are some top tier waifus that you can make in this game. It is now blown past Hollow Knight Silksong, Deadlock, Elden Ring Night Rain, and is most wishlisted game on Steam. But news came out that you could run over children in this game. And the developer said that the ability to run over kids was a bug. So apparently they're trying to fix that right now, but you know, it's pretty funny. Are you gonna play Inzoi there, Derwin?
no, I was actually a little bit curious about it, like because I saw it trending and I like clicked into the product page. I was like, oh, I do not think this game is for me. It's very
No,
much a Sims like, right?
it's very much The Sims.
Yeah.
But
I heard it takes like a lot of power to run too.
oh, does it actually? That's
Yeah, in
interesting.
terms of like graphics and everything. And like they took off de novo because it was like causing issues for a game that already required like such hardware limitations.
Hmm,
Yeah. Because as
interesting.
I don't know if you know, but de novo usually makes a game run worse.
Yeah, but it's mostly for anti-pirating.
Yeah, anti-pirating. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what everybody else is really curious about? When this GTA 6 launch is going to be. Because now there's reports that multiple publishers are ready to actually delay their games to avoid the GTA 6 onslaught. Makes perfect sense. A lot of publishers right now are sitting on like some hot fire waiting for Rockstar to reveal their release date so they could plan accordingly. And nothing yet. The fall is pretty empty, but that's kind of fine for this time of year for us to not really know what's coming out in the fall. And the rest of the year has been really busy. The front end, maybe everybody's trying to get their games out the door, so they don't have to deal with that GTA 6 fall reveal. I don't know, man. What do you think? When is GTA 6 coming out?
It's definitely going to be like Q3 or
I guess
Q4 at
is it
least.
coming
Yeah.
out this year or is it getting
I
delayed?
think, I mean, I honestly, I think that it is coming out this year. They've like come out multiple times to like say that it is going to be coming out this year. I found it funny because like there was like a news article in Game Informer when we were like peeking on it. It says like the CEO, Take Two CEO Strauss Zelnick came on an interview with Bloomberg last Friday and was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna tell you the release date just to keep fans anticipated and
Anticipating.
excited." But it's
That's
like you're also
crazy.
trolling all of the other video game developers by
Yeah,
not giving a release window.
that's pretty crazy. Okay, so my prediction is there's one game that is scheduled to be released this year, which I think is going to be our telltale sign. There's actually two games, but one of them we already have a release date for. We have two games that I think are the telltale sign as to when this game's going to come out. Two big games that are also from Take Two: Borderlands 4 and Mafia the Old Country. Borderlands 4 we already know is in September. Mafia the Old Country was rumored for summer, but still doesn't have a release date. I think the release date of those two things are going to tell us when GTA 6 is going to come out because they're going to want to space it away from their own games so GTA 6 doesn't cannibalize their own games. So wait and see, but I think those are the two things that we should keep a lookout for. Another thing you should keep a lookout for is for the upcoming Fatal Fury, City of Wolves which comes out, I believe, in October. Or is it April? Which one's coming out in October?
Well, we can check the video game release calendar.
Yeah, we could do that.
April.
Yeah, Fatal Fury City of Wolves, April 21. Has a surprise fighter coming to the game.
April 24th is what I see.
Yeah, you're right. So the iconic soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo will be a playable character in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. That is literally the most freaking random thing I've ever seen. That is wild. But if you read down the article, it kind of makes a little bit sense. He plays for the Saudi Pro League, for Al-Nasr in the Saudi Pro League, and 75% of the club is owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which is controlled by the Prince. So the Prince also owns the Electronic Gaming Development Company, which acquired 96% of SNK, which I believe is the publisher for this game. So yeah, it's Saudi Arabians. They're like, we own this soccer team, so we own this player, and we own this video game, so we're going to add Cristiano Ronaldo to this game. Imagine just being a developer there in freaking Korea and then being told, yo, bro, you got to add Cristiano Ronaldo to season 1 of the game.
They're probably hyped to do it.
Probably.
They love football over there too.
They do.
So they're like, oh, how are we going to make him the most OP character on the roster?
Yeah. Switching over to some PlayStation specific news. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has a release date confirmed for PS5. And that is, what is it? April what? I'm trying to get this right here. All right. Going back to Game Informer. April 17th on PS5. For those who don't know, Indiana Jones' Great Circle is developed by Machine Games, which is part of Bethesda Studios, which were bought by Microsoft in 2021, which the first few games that came out of Bethesda after that purchase were, well, the first few games after Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo were Xbox exclusives like Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush. But then with Xbox's new change in format, they announced the day that they announced the release date for Indiana Jones, December 9th or whatever it was for Xbox, they said, we're going to have a PS5 version coming in May and in the fall, in the spring. And here it is. The interesting thing about this announcement is the way it was announced. They had Troy Baker together with, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me, the lead voice actor for Nathan Drake. Yeah, Nolan North. On Uncharted. So it's actually not only coming to PS5, they also marketed it with a PlayStation type of theme. They had Nathan Drake, who's basically Nolan North, telling Troy Baker, who's Indiana Jones, welcome to the club. Look at the trailer online. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, they have a collector's edition that you can purchase too.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, it's a globe or something like that. As a
big
special
globe, which wasn't available for when it came out on Xbox. So yeah, interesting stuff. And I'm also kind of confused as to the release date because it's really close to another Xbox exclusive coming to PS5. Forza Horizon 5, which was previously announced to come out, I believe. That one's like April 28th. So they put them pretty too close to each other. And both of them are dominating the pre-order charts on the PlayStation Store. This actually kind of happened last year when they added Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and what's the fourth? Hi-Fi Rush. When they added those to PlayStation last year, those Xbox exclusives, Sea of Thieves was on the top of the charts. It's almost like you want what you can't have. And now that Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon are coming, they're up there. All the PlayStation players want to get their hands on.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's some rumors that we're also going to get something else this year we'll get our hands on, and that is the God of War side story project that's set in ancient Greece. This is just a claim, a rumor. This is not the remaster collection that's also been rumored, but an actual full brand new God of War game set in ancient Greece. Sounds like it's going to be a smaller game, a spin-off, maybe like an Uncharted Lost Legacy, or maybe, it's going to be like, one of these smaller kind of bite-sized Spider-Man Miles Morales type thing.
Do you think that it's going to be Kratos going back to Greece, or is this before he goes to
I've been hearing it's like a prequel thing, but maybe it's going to fill in the gap between when he leaves Greece and when he ends up in the Norse mythology situation, because we kind of have an empty time there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like completely empty. We kind of get a bit of backstory, but
Yeah.
yeah.
This is coming from a pretty reputable gaming insider who gets the deets, Jeff Grubb, where he tweeted, he's like, okay, everyone keeps asking about this, so I've tried to find out more. There's still a Greek God of War thing coming out this year, but it's not a remaster collection. It's a new side story project. What is the thing? Does that mean a game or does that mean something else?
Nah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully, it's an actual game.
Yeah. You know what else has been rumored? It has been rumored that Naughty Dog has been working on an unannounced game for 3 years. This is not The Last of Us Online that got canceled. This is not Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet. This is another game that's not being directed by Neil Druckmann. It's being directed by Sean Skag. I don't know how to pronounce that name, unfortunately. And it is not Last of Us Part 3. And apparently it's being worked on for 3 years. We don't know anything about it yet. This is just a rumor, of course. Take it with a grain of salt. Coming from Daniel RPK. I'm not sure who that leaker is, but yeah. So interesting. I don't know. New IP, Uncharted, another Last of Us game that's not Last of Us Part 3, spin-off, Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Talking about this Uncharted, this Naughty Dog game, and the guy who's directing it, he formerly directed Uncharted Lost Legacy, which was the spin-off game. So maybe this is going to be a smaller spin-off. We'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I've been kind of a bummer on Naughty Dog recently, ever since that they started developing the online game, which I'm like nobody wants, and then they canceled it, which was like, well, I would have rather had it than you waste 4 years. And then
Do you think it's
Intergalactic
actually
coming
something
out.
related to Uncharted, though? I feel like they're very like done with that series.
No, I think it's going to be a Last of Us. I
Yeah,
think it's
like a
going to be a
Last of
Last of Us
Us
spin-off
like
story.
DLC slash
A spin-off story.
spin-off.
Yeah, it might have been a Last of Us 2 spin-off or a Last of Us DLC that just turned into a spin-off. More Sony news. Apparently, Digital Foundry has confirmed that the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro have prevalent VRR stuttering problems. So, this is from Eurogamer. They did Digital Foundry did a deep dive. They tried a bunch of Sony first-party and third-party games with the VRR settings. Just to recap, VRR was a function. This is a variable refresh rate. This was a function that was available on the Series X at launch, but it was added to the PS5s in a patch sometime after launch. Yeah. So they got problems. I have never noticed this. I don't even know. Sometimes I turn VRR on, sometimes I don't. It depends on what game gives you what for what setting, but yeah. Anyway, thoughts. Like the
Yeah, I
confirmed.
don't think it really like affects that many people because like most people will be playing on like a constant refresh rate, like TV most of the time. So
Yeah,
yeah, this is probably more so like if you're gaming
on
on
your
like a monitor and stuff like that.
I mean, I think my TV has VRR, so
Yeah,
yeah. So
but I
game
mean, most if you keep it in a steady frames per
at
second, it's
60
fine.
frames per second. I think it's
Yeah.
for some games when they ask you to put 120 frames,
Mhm.
it automatically checks the VRR. Like it tries to max out at 120,
Yeah,
but it'll
yeah.
fluctuate depending on the thing. Yeah. So games that are unaffected: Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, Immortals of Avium, Dragon's Dogma 2, which is really a surprising one for me. I thought that would be a bad one.
Yeah, yeah, it would be
Yeah.
bad.
Games affected: Rift Apart, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Metaphor ReFantazio, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Last of Us Part 1 and 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring, and Diablo 4. Yeah, maybe I'll watch this to understand a little bit more here. I'll watch this Digital Foundry video.
I mean, most of these ones like aren't really that competitive, so like you don't really need all the frames to be honest.
Yeah, you don't need 120 frames for them. You could fairly lock them at 60. A 4-hour playthrough of Until Dawn's first-person PS3 prototype has been shared online. So you could literally watch all 4 hours of this. Until Dawn came out in 2015 for the PS4. It was not a first-person game, but whatever this prototype was, You played it with the PlayStation Move controllers. Yeah. I watched a few clips. It looks very PS3. It's
Yeah.
interesting that somehow makes its way to the internet. That's it for news stories from this week. But I thought because today is a Monday and we had to get off for a little bit and get back on. So while I was waiting for you to do the thing that you were doing, I thought, what news has dropped on Monday? Fresh news, you know? And so I thought maybe we should go through it now just to decrease the size of the Switch 2 episode. Sticking with Sony, apparently there's a Last of Us there's a Last of Us physical release for PS5 coming soon in some form. A Last of Us franchise physical release. Is it some type of bundle of the first two games in a physical format? Is it some special thing with some, I don't know, special art book map? Well, there's no map in Last of Us, but yeah, you get it, statue, that kind of stuff. We don't know. This is just rumored. So maybe it comes with all the DVDs for the HBO series.
No chance.
No?
No, they're gonna milk that. They're two separate things.
Yeah. Well, this already sounds like it's a little bit of milking. And then sticking with Ubisoft that we talked about today, Ubisoft stock falls double digits after this Tencent deal has been announced. Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft. I thought maybe this announcement would be a good thing, but it actually makes sense because they're going to become a subsidiary of the Tencent. So it wouldn't be the Tencent stock that you buy if you wanted to invest in them. Yeah, poor old Ubisoft. We didn't talk any Xbox news because there wasn't really any this week, but got an article here saying the Asus seemingly teases Project Keenan Xbox handheld ahead of the reveal. Talked about this a few episodes ago, how they're making a ROG Ally that's Xbox branded. So I think we're going to find out about this very soon here in the Summer Games Fest. And sticking to Switch, we got some news about the Switch. I know we were just talking predictions moments ago. Developers are saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 dev kits don't have 4K output.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it sounds like Derwin's a little right there. Yeah, I don't know. This article continues to read, it should be emphasized that the lack of 4K output on a dev kit doesn't automatically mean the system won't support it. Blah, 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 blah. You could read the whole article on Insider Gaming. Derwin looks like he's getting the predictions right. Monster Hunter Wilds smashes past the 10 million sold and sets a new record for Capcom. Apparently, it's only the 6th best selling Capcom game, which makes sense. Monster Hunter World sold 22 million. And apparently, there is going to be a big PC patch coming this week that is going to fix performance on PC. That's what Capcom is claiming. So maybe I could go back and play this game because I've been abandoned.
Yeah, if your friends haven't been burned by it enough.
Yeah. And how do we want to end it off on the bummer or do we want to end it off on the good thing? What do you like?
We should probably end it off on the good thing.
Okay,
I know
so
what you're gonna say next for the bummer, though.
what am I gonna say?
I was just looking at it as well, but Idios Montreal.
Eidos Montreal, yeah.
Yeah, laying off another 75 staff members.
Yeah.
They don't have the capacity to relocate them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is more of the freaking Embracer Group shenanigans that we had to deal with from a few years ago, which is just kind of just been a curse on the industry. Eidos Montreal was formerly a Square Enix studio, but Square Enix a few years ago, I believe, got rid of all their studios. I could be wrong. There's Eidos. I'm pretty sure because they did the very good Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel game. Yeah, so more layoffs, never ending. The last little story is Final Fantasy IX's 25th anniversary website launches amidst remake rumors. Speculation around an unexpected Final Fantasy IX remake have persisted for years. What is your favorite Final Fantasy, Derwin? Have you played any of the older ones on PS2 and stuff?
Oh, I don't think so. Like I had like a huge time jump. I remember playing like the OG like Final Fantasy, like some of the ones that are
1,
on
2, 3, 4,
like
5,
Game
6.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then didn't play them for a very long time, and then got back to it with Final Fantasy 7. Yeah.
On PS1?
No, on the remake.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's a
No. Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
15. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy 9 either. I kind of missed all the Final Fantasies up until like 13 was my first one. And then, yeah. Exciting for any Final Fantasy 9 fans. I got 2 more stories here. These are funny stories. So, Elon Musk gets into some Twitter beef with the official Assassin's Creed. Was it the Ubisoft account, the Twitter account, or the Assassin's Creed account? I'm not sure.
I think it was the Assassin's Creed account, if I remember properly.
Okay, so I am going to find the tweet and read verbatim what it says. Basically, he was retweeting something that Hasanabi had posted about him playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. And Elon Musk, I can't find the original tweet. I'm only finding the reply from oh, here it is. Ugh, why is this so difficult to find? Yeah. Sorry, folks. I should have prepared ahead of time. So Hasanabi is basically promoting the game on Twitter, and Elon Musk proceeds to retweet him and say, you're a sellout. This game is trash," or whatever. Assassin's Creed account retweets him and tells him, "Is that what the guy who plays your Path of Exile 2 account told you to say?" Which is pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty good
Yeah,
pretty
it was a
good
really good clap back.
Yeah. And so for those who don't know, Elon Musk was supposed to be like this big guy who was really into Diablo, and he was playing Path of Exile 2, and he was like ranked really high up, and everybody was talking about it. And it's like, how the hell does this guy running his 3 companies have the time to play Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4? And it turns out he wasn't. He was paying people to play his account. So it's a good one there. Another Twitter beef that happened this last week was also about Assassin's Creed Shadows, but it was the Clover Studio head, Hideki Kamiya, who we've recently talked about in the podcast about him leaving Platinum Games, etc. He basically says a congratulations to the developers at Montreal, Quebec. He's like, this game has had a lot of hate leading up to it, and he's like, I'm glad it succeeded. Bunch of people proceed to freak out and retweet him like, "Oh my god, you're a sellout. What are you talking about? This game is this. You shouldn't be the one." Obviously, seemingly non-Japanese people tweeting this guy, be like, "You're a disgrace to Japanese culture. This game uh, is a disrespect to your culture, etc., etc., etc." And he goes on, bro. You scroll his Twitter, and you have to go. They're all in Japanese, so you have to go and translate. And I'll just read one. He tells one guy, he's like, "I hope a bird eats you and flies away and shits you out because you're nothing but an insect." Obviously, this is being translated by AI, so I'm not sure how correct it is. But yeah, he went to town, bro. He was having none of it. Any of the haters that were having meltdowns, he was just giving it to them. So it was pretty crazy Twitter beef. That was unlikely Twitter beef that I'd be reading about this week.
The fact that these people are probably having to like translate it too and respond.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that is it for our show. I do want to hop into the playlist because I have a couple of games I'm talking about. Do you want to talk about anything this week, Derwin?
No, the only thing I hopped back into is the real Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ghost of Tsushima.
Goes to Tsushima.
Yeah,
Ready for
I'm
that.
playing it on the maxed out settings now, so
Beauty.
man, that game still looks so
It
good.
is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows just made me want to play it.
Have you ever had that before where a game makes you want to play another game?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to think. I know what's happened, but I can't think off the top of my head. Or a movie makes you want to play a game that seemingly has nothing to do with the movie.
Indiana Jones for Uncharted.
Yeah?
Like, yeah, I remember one time rewatching like some of the old Indiana Jones. I'm like, Uncharted, it's time.
Mm,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Is specifically for Lost Legacy, I think, too, because like I hadn't beaten that one yet, or
Yeah.
had the platinum, and then I was watching Indiana Jones, and I was like, oh, I should really go back and play that game.
Well, I love Lost Legacy. It's one of my favorite Uncharted games. Arguably, it might be my favorite. I might
No
like Lost.
way.
I
The
might
fourth
like Lost.
one,
Huh?
A Thief's End, is like my favorite top Uncharted
Thief Sends
game.
for the fourth one, right?
Yeah.
Lost Legacy might be better than number one for me, and maybe Uncharted 3. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I liked Uncharted 3 a little bit more than I like 2, which I know is not canon. Everybody says 2 is like better than 3, but
Yeah. Two was the train one, right?
2
I
was the
just hated
train one.
playing that train one.
2 was the train one, yeah.
Yeah, because like, oh, dude, so like I said, I've gotten the platinum on it like
That's
the
a
one
crazy
time,
platinum. That's a
and
crazy
like you
platinum, by
have
the
to
way.
play it like twice through. Like seeing the train thing like 4 times, like just drove me insane.
Those were hard platinums. I did not get it on any of them.
Yeah.
They're like from the PS3 era where like platinums were actually ridiculous to get on most games. Anyway, so I'll hop into the games I've been playing. So I'll start off by saying I'm still playing Split Fiction. One day you'll get a review from me once me and my wife get through all of it. I promise. But we're still playing it. We're actively playing it. We play it like every other night. Mullet Mad Jack. I've talked about it 2 times on this podcast already. I don't need to go into it too much more. I finished it. I rolled credits on it. I played a couple of the other like side stuff, the endless modes and stuff like that. I love this game. I adore this game. If you haven't heard me talk about it, this is the boomer shooter like roguelike where you go through a bunch of levels in this like Japanese cyberpunk Akira kind of setting, but with like 90s vibes. And you're supposed to like rescue this like princess, which is just this cute chick. And you're like in this cyber world where you're like addicted to dopamine and you need to shoot a robot every 10 seconds to get like dopamine back. And you have to go through like 80 floors and you get a checkpoint only after the boss, after the 10th, every 10 floors. Wonderful game. I loved it. I love the art style. I love the music. The soundtrack is great. I loved the combat. Everything was wonderful. I cannot recommend this game enough. It came out last year on PC, just came out on Xbox. It's on Game Pass. It has a PlayStation release date announced, I believe, in May. Cannot recommend it enough. That's Mullet Mad Jack. So for new things I've been playing, this week or last week, one of the big releases was First Berserker Khazan. This is the Souls-like game from the DNF universe. So I don't know too much about the DNF universe. It's like I believe it's like a fighting. There's a fighting game called DNF Duel. So kind of weird to be creating Souls-like from this kind of franchise. But anyway, so it's Souls-like, and you're in like kind of like a snowy mountain kind of setting, and it's very linear, some meandering paths. They had a demo for it on the PlayStation Store, and I believe on other places as well. So I tried the demo. I hopped into the demo. The demo is, depending on how good you are, it probably took me 5 hours to get through. It is the first 2 chapters of the game, actually, and your save carries over to when you buy the game. So yeah, played the demo. My impressions are basically as follows. The combat is magnificent on this game. It is spectacular. It is I feel like it's a balance between dodging and parrying, and it's important to be able to do both. The 2 bosses that I fought were fun to fight. The combination of the parrying and the dodging, again, to reiterate, I felt like the parrying windows were not too easy, but they weren't kind of cheap. Really enjoyed the combat. And I also really liked it because it felt like it was focused. Not bare, I don't want to say bare bones. That sounds like it's a bad word, but it felt like it was very focused on what it wants to be and what it wants to do. Like there's only like 3 types of weapons, and there's like skill trees for that weapons, and upgrading is very straightforward, and like your gear is very straightforward. It's not like some other like Souls games, especially like From Software games, where you're going through these menus and you have no idea what does what. Felt very nice in that regard. The bosses look really good. The art style is incredible. It's this like cell shaded anime style. And maybe the actual maybe the actual gameplay leading up to the boss wasn't that interesting, like going through the world and going through the dungeons. I just felt like they were not that great. From software, linear From Software games are much more interesting with the paths you seek. But yeah, it's very fun. I was gonna buy a copy, and then I told myself I am in brand new game $80 copy timeout, because I've done this a lot this year, buying games that I play for a couple more sessions and then I move on to the next one. So I'm in gaming timeout right now. I am not gonna buy First Berserker Khazan just yet, but it is for sure on my radar to play going forward. And a couple of my buddies hopped on it. But yeah, try out the demo on the PlayStation Store or the Microsoft Store or anywhere else, and see if you like it. It's the save carries over to the next to the full game, so you at least get ahead. You play 2 chapters, and some of those two bosses, like the first one wasn't that hard, but the second one was challenging. Yeah, that is the First Berserker Khazan, just came out last Thursday. The other game I tried is 33 Immortals. This game just came out on early access or open beta or whatever you want to call it. A week or two ago, I can't remember, and it dropped to Game Pass day one. It is also on the Epic Game Store, but not on Steam. So I think bad decision there, just considering what I'm going to talk about. But yeah, 33 Immortals is developed by Thunder Lotus, which are the developers of the pretty critically acclaimed Spiritfarer, although it is entirely different game. So the premise of this game is you are an immortal, so you're like in the underworld. It is a Hades meets Diablo dungeon crawling co-op roguelike. And you basically, the way it works is you play with 33 people, which sounds crazy. You don't, and I was afraid about this because I was like, there's no way you're going to be able to maintain this game if you need 33 players to play it. Like, the concurrent player count is never going to be that high. 33 players, you're asking for a lot. But the way it works is they have these big servers in different regions. So all you do is when you enter the game, you enter the North America server, and you are in a server with basically everybody else in there. And you're like in a hub world where you can upgrade your weapons, change your cosmetics, do all that kind of stuff, and equip the weapon you want to use. But when you enter the game, you're not when you enter the dungeon. There's one of 3 dungeons. The third one is still in development. It's not available in this open beta. I played the first and second one. The first one I beat twice. The second one I couldn't get to the final boss. But what happens is you just hop into the game. There's no waiting. There's no queue. Maybe it's because the player count is good enough that you don't have to do that right now. But there was literally never any loading screens. I was never like queued up and waiting for people to join or anything. I'm just in the hub world. I will go through the dungeon gates and I just join whoever's there until it fills up. Then they start a new thing. But you just join and you go. And the idea is you just go around this dungeon. You kill baddies. You do. It's very co-op, so you have abilities that work with cooperation with your teammates, and you're just kind of supposed to huddle together and go through this dungeon, get as much loot and stuff possible. Then 4 chambers open up on the map, and you have to fill them with up to 6 players each. You go down to like an underworld, or I think they call it Ascend, where you go up. I can't remember. You have to do a mini dungeon in there. Then you get out. It's almost kind of like an Elden Ring Night Rain. In like Elden Ring Night Rain, you have to go through these days where you get dropped into this world. You go around, loot, the circle closes, you have to fight a boss. Then you go into the second day, and then the same idea, and then you fight a final boss. Like this one, you have to go through the dungeons. If you and your team survive the dungeons, you get out, you go back to looting in the bigger map, and then the same thing happens. Another set of dungeons open up, and then you have to go down and defeat the baddies in there, and then you get back, and then you do a little bit more looting, and then there's like a place where you're supposed to ascend to the final boss. And in the process of ascending to the final boss, a circle kind of closes in on you, and you have to do your final little battle within this circle with you and your teammates. And then you go to a final boss. At this point, this is where there is a loading screen because they kind of wait for everyone to ascend, Because whereas in the other chambers and dungeons, you could do them separately. Like you could have only one person in a chamber. The final boss, all 33 people show up together, and then you got to fight this boss. It's like he's got like 10 life bars, and you got to like work together in cooperation to fight him. And there's almost like a time limit sense where if you don't knock his health down a certain amount fast enough, he does like an attack that's unblockable, undodgeable to the whole area. So everybody takes a hit. So yeah, it's like that. You basically have one life. What happens is you could get revived by your teammate, but when you get revived, you lose a portion of your health bar, so your health bar gets smaller. If you die again, you're dead. You can kind of recover it using items in the game. Yeah, there's different things. You go around in the dungeon, you loot. It's very roguelike. Every time you die and you go back in the dungeon, it's like different things placed different in different places. And the further you get along, the better loot you get. You go back and you get more gear, and then you kind of restart it. And then if you beat the first dungeon, you unlock keys to the second dungeon, which you can do that, which I did. It was much harder. And then I ran out of my keys and I had to go back and win the first dungeon again to get more keys to try the second dungeon. And yeah, the art style is beautiful. It does give a lot of Hades vibes. I don't think it's Hades level combat by any means. I think the weakest thing is the actual combat is a little bit bare bones, but I was reading that I hadn't reached a high enough level where I can actually upgrade my weapon abilities. So it seems like there's some weapon abilities I just haven't reached the rank high enough to be able to access those. So maybe it gets more interesting. There's like 4 weapons. There's like a bow and arrow, like a heavy sword, twin daggers, and like a mage kind of build. All of them do different things. I felt like the bow and arrow and the mage were way better than the sword and the daggers. So there was like no point in even playing them. Again, maybe this is different once you upgrade your weapons. Really good game. I think it has a lot of potential. I think it'd be very fun to play co-op. You could create a lobby, and then you up to 4 friends can join you, and then you could go into the world together. So be like 29 random people, but then you guys. I was really worried about like how it was going to work, matchmaking, how you were going to get in, how you're going to fill in a lobby. There was going to be low concurrent players, but no, that doesn't seem to be an issue at all. So yeah, you could play it on Game Pass, both PC and Xbox, and it's on the Epic Game Store. I usually don't play early access games at all, but I thought I'd give it a try because I have been anticipating this game, and it was on Xbox. I think I got my fix. I don't think I'm going to play it anymore until it drops as 1.0. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. That's 33 Immortals. That's it for me. Any questions? Yeah.
No. I saw it on the Epic Game Store, but yeah, it didn't really appeal to me. Like,
yeah,
it's too many people.
It's weird. It's not. You're kind of just playing by yourself and you're zoned out and you're zen and you don't really need to talk to anyone. Everybody kind of already knows what the objective is. And you kind of just walk around, do your own thing. And then sometimes it's more strategic to just run away from the group you're with, or sometimes it's better to try and find a group to join up with. But there was no level of like frustration, like these people are idiots. Like, I feel like it's developed in a way that everybody understands the assignment after they do 1 run or 2 runs. Yeah, really fun game. But yeah, again, maybe when it comes out, like they have a roadmap right now. It sounds like if it does go into 1.0 this year, it's not going to go into 1.0 until later in the year. So it's Mullet Mad Jack, First Berserker Khazan, and 33 Immortals. Still playing Split Fiction, not playing Monster Hunter anymore. Maybe I'm going to try and get back in after. Well, I was going to try and get back in with a buddy, he said, after Ramadan, but he's kind of on Khazan now, so I don't know. I'm going to give Monster Hunter one last try, and then maybe I think axe it. Move on.
Yeah.
That's it for this week. That was a packed episode, but I think there was no other way around it. So stay tuned, guys. Remember, Wednesday, April 2nd, there's the Switch 2 reveal, 7 in the morning, Mountain Standard Time, or Mountain Time. Mountain Standard is not it's just Mountain Time. And don't forget to like on Instagram, like and ring the bell and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate the support. If you have any questions, you have any ideas, just shoot us a direct message on the Slow Run Cast on Instagram. And yeah, it's the Slow Run Cast everywhere you get your podcasts. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining us. We're out.